Hey everyone, it is Jamie from Independent Street Tarot and Seasons and Ritual, and I am here with my healer series. And so this is my second video, and I am very honored and pleased to introduce my friend, Britt Myers-Voelker. And the way I say it, Britt, because I was going to say your full name, Brittany, but she goes by Britt. So, Britt and I go back about maybe a year.
Longer than
And
that, I think.
I
Year and a
know,
half, 2 years.
year and a half,
Yeah.
maybe 2 years, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm going to be 90 and I'm going to be like, this is my friend. We've known each other since the 2000s. We've known each other for a year. It's like,
But we did have a passing where we didn't actually meet face to face, but you pulled tarot cards at my yoga studio for an event that I wasn't at
that's
like
true.
5 years ago.
That is true. That is
Yeah,
true. Okay. Yeah. Good memory.
we go way back.
We go way back, which is important that she's really good about going way back because that's what I'm going to interview her on. She does past life regressions. And so at first, I just want to say, Britt owns the Nola Yoga Loft here in New Orleans. And so she does have her own yoga studio, and she's also a Reiki teacher. And I had been taught Reiki, and then I had a session with Britt, and I was like, can I just go ahead and take another Reiki class from you? And she was like, sure. Because it was that amazing. I mean, that amazing. So if you guys can ever get in with one of her yoga classes, and I do want to just mention this as well. Are you still streaming the yoga classes?
We do. We live stream all the yoga classes at our studio. We have a Zoom room, so it's the same meeting code every time. You just hop in for any of the classes. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll put
As
that.
well as in person. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I'll put that in the comments and stuff below. So great Reiki teacher, great yoga teacher. What I also love about you and your yoga teachers is that you guys are all about community. And so I really love that. So I'm just always excited. And she's up the street from me, which is a double blessing in my life. But I want to say that with the past life regression sessions, and I'll let you say it correctly, she does do them online. So you guys can book with her here in New Orleans. You can book with her in Covington. At the same time, she does do them online. So what I'm going to do is just kind of hand it over to you and ask, okay, how did you first get into doing on past life regressions? And then,
Oh, now we go.
yeah, and then I want to ask, and then when we go through that, then like how are you able to do this in an online space? So first and foremost, how did you get into past life regressions?
Well, past lives and I go way back.
Hey.
But no, seriously, it's interesting how it happened really full circle with my offerings, that how I went on my healing journey. The first things that came up initially were past life traumas. And it's one of those, okay, I don't know about you or anybody watching this, but whenever there's things coming up in your life and patterns and these like deep emotions, and you can't figure out where they're coming from, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why do I feel this way? Why is this happening? And like, why am I having this reaction? And like, where's that coming from? And I had to go way back. So in my personal work, I was doing past life work from the jump, this going back like 20 years almost. And then, through my Reiki practice, I got into, I've been doing Reiki for over a decade now, and that it came up so much with my clients, where either I would have psychic visions or they would have psychic visions of them in different lifetimes being the root of traumas that were being healed. And yeah, just going way back, like a lot of times we look at the surface of things when we look at a particular issue, we look at a particular conflict, and it's great to solve that in the moment. But to really get that to not keep happening, or to be able to really process those emotions, you have to go back to where they started from.
Mm-hmm.
So that has led to me doing trainings in past life regression. And it's a newer offering for me in terms of offerings, but it's something that I've been doing in some form or another for decades now.
And
Yeah.
I notice that a lot of times with healers, right? Like they have always been doing what they are offering. It's just that they're able to say, oh, I took a class now, it is this, or I've met someone else and they put it in this way, so now I can explain it this way. Because when I've just been always working with like small business and stuff, it's always been, oh, okay, well, channeling in the moment, this is probably what's going to help, but you
So
don't.
what's different? I'm gonna say yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no, because I've been working with past lives for decades now, but past life regression is a little bit different than what I was doing before, because instead of me channeling the information and giving it to you and then you processing it through what I've just processed for you,
Mm-hmm.
past life regression takes you to that place. So therefore, you're visualizing these scenarios, you're seeing the originating traumas. And that way, in the moment, you're able to process these things yourself. And it really gives you that autonomy. It gives you like the power, I just got chills. You're the one that's changing your life. And that's how it always is. It's always you're the one that's changing your life. And it's you visualizing it, and like I'm just there guiding you along. And that's what I do in Reiki as well. I'm just there holding space for the healing, really. But in this, it's more evident that I'm guiding you and holding space for you and assisting you in how to do your work.
That's a great way of putting it too. And I think like you just nailed it in this Mercury retrograde, how this works, right? And how you give the client, the power, right? Because we always tell people, you know how to heal yourself. It is within you, right? And you are holding that space and giving them that room in order to see how to do that.
Yeah. And that's what I love. That's why I love teaching so much too, because I'm like, you know how to do this. I'm helping you learn how to tap into your own innate abilities. And with past life regression, I'm holding space and guiding you while you travel through different lifetimes. It is astral travel. So I'm guiding you as you travel here and letting you experience it for yourself.
Yeah, that's great. And so I was like, well, I guess this interview's over. That was fast. Listen, you summed it up pretty quickly. When a client, so let's go through kind of like the bones of it. So when a client comes to you, you can do like you said, you can do sessions in Covington or in New Orleans. And so usually how long is a session in person?
So in person, I have a slightly different in-person offering to make it extra juicy for people. I do Reiki past life healing. So there I'm utilizing really hybrid of a Reiki session and a past life regression. And it's an hour and a half.
Okay.
And so there I'm utilizing Reiki to help people get to that delta wave state, to get to that calm, relaxed ability for their unconscious to really come forward. And that one, I follow up the regression with Reiki, helping people ground back into their bodies and helping that energy of what they've been processing really integrate in their energy field. So those are hour and a half sessions that are really like hybrid, where it's a Reiki session with a past life regression sandwiched in there to get all. And yeah, I'm offering that in New Orleans over at a dear friend of mine, Nola, it's an acupuncture studio. It's inside Spire. And so I'm offering sessions there. And then over in Covington, there's this amazing yoga studio, Love More Yoga, right in downtown Covington. And they have a healing room. And so I'm in there a couple days a week seeing clients as well, which is really special to me because I'm from Covington
That's what I
and
thought.
I get to go do my thing and like hold space for community in a place that was my original community.
Mhm.
It's really cool.
That's so awesome. And then let me ask you, when you take people through these regressions, when they start to come back to present time, are they able to remember?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So, this is something, it's like a little misconception whenever people think of hypnosis or, these deep, deep meditative states is you're conscious and aware the whole time. You're not asleep. You're not, we say that your unconscious is coming to the driver's seat and your conscious mind is just hopping in the back seat. You're always aware of the person in the back seat. They're gonna make you aware. They're gonna tell you turn the turn signal on.
Yeah.
They're there. Yeah. So you're always awake and aware and present, and it's more so allowing that unconscious mind to steer the direction of where you're going. So people, you remember everything that happened. Yeah, I'll also, if you come see me in person, I leave you with a little handout that is written down some things that may have come up for you, things that you may want to continue working on, any little like tidbits there that you are awake and aware and you remember everything. Yeah.
Okay, because I was just want to touch on that because I know you say you get people to that delta wave state. Is that what you said, delta wave state?
I did say delta wave. Yeah, it's people get to a really relaxed wave, really relaxed wave.
Is that the right wave? Is it delta?
I think it might be the wrong wave. I think you might have called me out there.
No, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I thought I was actually being like, oh, you're so smart because I was just trying to do it with when we go to sleep, and we start to wake back up and we're between that sleep and awake consciousness. Is that kind of where we are when you put us down?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's that like that semi like awake and aware, but also like in that deep feeling. I think it's delta wave. Let's this back up.
We'll
My
double
notes.
check and put it in the
We're gonna
comments.
double check and put it
Okay.
in the notes.
Yes.
Yes, when
Yeah.
people know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be Veda, but I think it's Delta.
I don't
So
know
we'll double check so everybody knows
what state you're
exactly
in.
what wave they're in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that state. If you've ever done yoga nidra, it's the same kind of state where it's that like, yeah, I want to say like sleepy, dreamy, but very conscious. Yeah.
Yeah, your voice just puts me in that state. I love it.
Yeah.
I would like if you would live stream just reading I would say the phone book. We don't have those anymore. I'd be like, thank you. And it was just so calming and relaxing. So I don't mind that whatsoever. Because I was going to say, like when we think back and we think about our dreams, like when our conscious mind starts to kick in, that's when we start to go like, was that a flying banana? And why did it make sense in my dream? But then when I say it out loud, it doesn't make sense. Do we still kind of go through those motions when we fully awake, when we do past life regressions? Or are we just like, no, that made total sense?
It makes total sense in a
Okay.
different way because dreams they're metaphorical. It's like the unconscious is giving you these symbols and metaphoric imagery, but some people have had past life dreams. That's a pretty common way for people to be like, oh, I had a dream that I was me, but I was different and it was a different lifetime or era or whatever. Those dreams always hit differently because it's this inner knowing, it's this inner understanding, it's this much deeper understanding than a typical dream.
And I think that's a really good distinction because I mean, that really resonated with me, like when we do spiritual work, and I'm speaking for me, I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but I know when I do spiritual work and even when I work with tarot and other cards and stuff like that, it does feel differently when it just makes sense and it does resonate, because I know for me, like I'll keep thinking like, well, like the other day I went on a walk and I found a white feather. And to me, I knew exactly what that meant. I was like, okay. But then like later I was like, did it mean something else? Could it mean, you know what I mean? Like, and I was like, ugh. That's why I told my brain, shh, we're fine. This is, what it meant. So the fact that when we go through this journey with you, we do feel good because like you said, we do start trusting that those feelings within us. We do start trusting, like I like how you said it hits differently, that it's real when you say that.
Yeah, it's that inner gut where you just on a deep, deep level, and you understand. You may not be able to explain it to somebody else, but you know what it means.
That's great. And I've done some things where I just have to tell myself too, because sometimes my brain, my brain gets stuck in a pattern. So if something comes up, I just say, Jamie, we healed that. Like, it's okay to keep moving on, and I have to say, there's so much relief in that. There's so much relief just seeing like, oh, this is coming up because I wasn't aware that I was constantly running this. Now I've healed it. So when it came back up, I was just like, no, we healed that. We don't, it's okay that it came back up because that was like my go-to. But it wasn't affecting anything anymore. It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so great whenever you feel those, and also knowing that you've processed it and knowing where it came from, especially when thinking about triggers. I'm thinking about the holidays are about to come up.
Yep.
And people get very triggered around their family origin if you go home for the holidays. There's this great Ram Dass quote: if you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family.
Yes.
So true.
So true.
But it's like, I highly recommend doing this type of work before you go home, because then you can see like, oh, that reason that I get this particular emotion around that particular person is actually because of this story that was created many lifetimes ago, where this scenario happened, and that's what we needed, and that's what I was still feeling, but I don't have to feel that way anymore because I can let that go.
Yeah. That feels really good in the heart. So, and then would you say then that's ending that karma?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definite karma burning.
Oh, I like that, karma burning.
Which I know it sounds a little esoteric. Because not every we just assume people know what these things mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's stepping out of that pattern. It's letting go to where these things don't keep happening again for us and for others.
Yeah.
So that bond between you and somebody else, you can resolve that. You can cut that. Cut that emotional, cut that physical, cut that whatever it is, and burn it.
Yeah, and it just opens so much more. Like
for freedom.
Yeah, we get to see so much
Yeah.
more. So you explained how this would work in person. So if you were going to do it like how we're just like talking now, I guess a Zoom.
Yeah.
What does that look like, and how long does that last?
So I'm offering 2 different options: an hour-and-a-half option, as well as a 2-hour option.
Okay.
For people to go a little bit deeper. So those, you book a session with me through my website, and on there it's a past life regression, which is similar to how I lead people in person. So basically, I begin to lead you into a meditative state through relaxing your body, through affirming how calm and at peace you are.
It's working.
And leading you into a place where you feel safe, where you feel secure, where you feel that you can allow your more imaginative, creative side to come to the forefront, that unconscious mind. And we spend a good while getting you to that state. And in that state, we can then go on a journey. We can go on to a journey into past lives, where you can do this anywhere in your home that you feel safe. Just set up a little cozy corner. I love a cozy corner.
Yeah.
Anywhere that you're not going to have a dog barking at you. You're not going to have anybody knocking on the door that would just be distracting. It'll be okay if that happens. You'll still stay in that state, but it's just a more pleasant experience if you can block all that out. And so yeah, you just really need a place where you're comfortable and not disturbed. And then for a 2-hour session, I can take you into multiple past lives.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we can go through, so say that you're working on something like forgiveness with a certain situation that you can't let go of. And so we can take you into a past life where the one that's most relevant for you at this time, you realize the roots of that anger, and you can really witness that. And then we go to another past lifetime where maybe that another trauma of you continuing to play out this karma, or maybe it's a past life where you were really at peace and had that love and forgiveness. And you can carry that back. That's one thing I love. It's not all like doom and gloom in past lives.
Yeah.
You can go back and have an amazing experience, and you can bring that forward. Say if you're feeling really disempowered, then maybe what's best for you today is to go into a past life where you feel your power, where you were a leader. And then you can take that goodness and you can bring it into this life and feel that empowerment and feel that leadership. And I'm saying this, that, these different options, and I'm not telling you what life to go into. Your unconscious mind is giving you exactly what you need.
I think that is so great. And I love that you brought up the fact that you can go back to a lifetime where you were empowered, or where we were empowered, because everything is, and it's just how things were set up. But like, it's always like, I'm going to, a lot of people don't want to do therapy or work or whatever, because they're just exhausted, and so the idea of like, oh my God, like you do all the stuff and then it's like, I really want to do this another healing modality, but the last thing I really want to do is just put myself through the ringer again, And so the fact that you brought that up.
Yeah. And so one thing that's great about this is, instead of the emotional upheaval of talk therapy or something similar, you're going to a super relaxed state. You're going to a very relaxed state. You're going to a really balanced state. So even if it's been like a really long day, you can come back and you can just lie back and then go to that relaxed meditative state. And then what's in your best interest, maybe this way to unlock freedom in your life. Yeah, like that's a lot of people these days feel very tied down in this work money cycle, and this society that tells you exactly what you need, and then you feel less than, and you just keep striving and striving. And it's a lot of this work can be bringing back that freedom, bringing back that empowerment, bringing back that freedom. And no matter what, I close with getting you back in your body feeling balanced and at peace, feeling rejuvenated, feeling relaxed, and feeling at peace. That's so I'm not just gonna like pull up trauma and then like, all right, there you go, bye.
Bye. Sorry you were Catherine the Great. Oh well, okay, see you next time. Because too, like, I feel like that idea though, like, I think a lot of times people are frustrated because there is a part of them that innately knows how to handle things, or innately knows like things can be good. And it's just giving that permission that actually I know how to access that, like, and that is just as beautiful and just as much as part of the work than maybe some of these other things that are going on in our lives that we tend to focus on. And then we tend to like, oh, this is what I really got to work on. When sometimes it is like just remembering that these are strengths and knowledge that we have within us that needs to come forward. And the fact that you can tap into that and bring that forward is great.
Yeah. Well, I can help people tap into it and bring it forward.
That's what I was thinking in my mind. I don't know what I said out loud. Help us tap into it, bring it forward.
Yeah, exactly. Just reaffirming that I'm here holding space for people doing the work and guiding people doing the work, and that it's you doing, and and sometimes we don't even have to call it work. You gifting yourself this experience, you giving yourself this gift.
Yeah.
The gift of feeling more free, the gift of healing relationship trauma, the gift of working on grief. That is one big reason people do past life work is grief, and I don't think that you ever fully process grief. It's something that you carry with you. So, oh my goodness.
I agree with you.
A past life and see that person that you lost was with you time and time again, and to see that it's not goodbye forever, and to see that how y'all have supported each other in the past. And that it's a big reason people come in is to help with that grief, to help process that grief, to help carry that grief. Because grief is heavy. Grief can be very heavy.
And
So to help kind of lighten the load of it.
And we are doing a lot of mourning and a lot of grieving this lifetime. Because I work, yeah. And I kind of want to ask you, so there's like, my brain is splitting in two ways. So I kind of want to just keep it to where we are and then have people get to how to get in touch with you. But when you're bringing up though, like this grief, it triggered the idea of twin flames. And I don't know, do you believe in twin flames? I'm not sure if I do. I'm just going to say that. Like, well, let me say this. It's been shown to me from different people, okay, that we all have a twin flame. Now, that being said, the way that it's been talked about and presented in the past couple of years, I'm not sure I'm not sure I agree with all that. I think that was used to keep people a lot in and these are my opinions, but I think it was used a lot to keep people in toxic relationships. So while I do believe there is an idea of twin flame, I'm still allowing that to present itself like what it's actually supposed to mean. Let me say that. So I'll say that. So, but this idea that going back maybe and healing some grief, do you find that it is a lot twin flamey connected or?
So I can't speak to the combination of the grief and the twin flame. What I will speak to, and I am right there with you. I somewhat believe in twin flames. I do not believe everything that I read about twin flames, or I do believe that a lot of it is pushing these sustaining toxic relationships. But so yes and no.
Okay.
I believe that we have soul contracts with people.
Okay.
We do that where, if that we will create these contracts to tie ourselves with other people for whatever reason, for whatever happened in a different life, whatever traumas happen, we create these ties. And past life work, part of a regression session with me is dissolving those contracts if they're not serving you.
I love it.
So several people have come in that have these toxic relationships where it's like, okay, I broke up with this guy 5 years ago. Why won't he leave me alone? Or like, I can't get him out of my head, or her or them out of my head.
Sure.
And I don't know why. And we keep randomly meeting up. I'll go to the park and I turn my left and they're right there, and it's these cosmic relationships. They'll go into a past life and they'll see, oh, because we went through this trauma together. It's like a trauma bonding. I hear that word used in this life, trauma bonding. Because we went through this trauma together, I told them I would never leave them, or we made this contract that I was going to put them before myself. These contracts are made, and through seeing that, and so go back to like what the sessions are like. So you will experience these past lives, and then you will go into this between period of after your death in that life, where you can do a little life review and you can look at these contracts. You can look at these agreements that you made, any vows that you made, any cords that are connecting you and people from that life that you carried into this life. And then you have the choice, because you're always in power. You are always in your own power here. You have the choice to cut, dissolve, break those agreements and let them go. And that's a big part of the work is letting go of the past. So letting go of these contracts that you wrote, or rewriting your contracts, rewriting your belief system. So that's the next part. So after looking at these contracts, you look at, how do I view myself because of what happened in that life? What beliefs did I create about who I am? And then you have the opportunity to change that belief.
That's so beautiful. Yeah. That's so beautiful. Just today, I did my midweek check-in, and it was all about staying present and writing these new beliefs, and the idea that you take us there is great, and it is, because it is so important that people remember that they are empowered.
Yeah, that's such a big one that comes up, is this old belief of, from whatever happened in this trauma, people believe that they're worthless. People believe that they're unlovable. Those are big themes that come up. And so then getting them to see where that deep belief came from, that only unconscious belief, because we're not going around telling these things to ourselves, but
Right.
we're seeing these things play out in our lives.
Uh-huh.
And then seeing where that came from and being, no, I'm going to change that. And so there in the astral plane, we're able to renegotiate things.
I love
We're
that.
able to rewrite things from this higher plane.
Mhm.
And then you can carry that back into your life.
I love that so much. And I love the fact that you give us such a safe space to do it, and it's in the idea that you brought up, yes, you can be, or you could be working with past traumas, but you could also be working with past triumphs,
Yeah.
and they're both relevant, and they both need to be seen and heard.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that in this healing world, we do so much work looking at all the dark, bad things,
Yeah.
the things, the trauma. So because that is such a part of healing, is looking at the traumas. And it's so uplifting to be able to also look at the things that we did right, and the ways that we have loved ourselves in the past, and to be able to reaffirm those parts of ourselves that shine.
And just, yeah, reaffirm that we are love.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah. Of course, you're lovable. You're loved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that gave me chills. Oh. Okay, so is there anything else you'd like to touch on, you think? You think we covered it all? We
Um,
went. I'm all
yeah.
about
What?
just letting you talk if you want to just talk after I cut
Well,
you
I
off.
will say that one other thing, if you're really interested in astral travel or deep meditative journeys, and not necessarily going into past lives, or want to throw other things into the mix, I'm offering meditative journeys, which are 45 minutes long, 45 minutes to an hour, normally 45 minutes long, where we can come to a deep, relaxed state and then work on whatever your intention is that you want to work on, whether that is um, working on forgiveness, working on self esteem, balancing your energy field, or you want to do something cool like meet some spirit guides or angels.
Mhm.
We can focus it around that and
Uh,
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's really good. Let me tell you, last week or 2 weeks ago, we were doing a little Reiki sesh at my house, and Mercury was in retrograde, and I gave her the wrong address. And she just came sauntering up here. She had a coffee, she was like, "We got this." And I was just like, "I'm so sorry. I know you have things to do." She laid me down and I was out. She did her things, and then she was done. And then it's like she just got back on her cloud and floated off for the rest of her day. So
Yeah. I will
I'm
tell
so
you,
good.
my passion that drives what I do is helping people find calm.
Yeah.
That's what I do in yoga too. I teach a gentle yoga class as well as like a typical slow yoga class. And I've done advanced restorative trainings, it's all relaxation based.
Mhm.
I love helping people find that calm. And it's funny that you mentioned my voice being really calming
Yes.
earlier, because that's like, I love using my voice, speak really calmly and from the heart, and help people find that vibrational level,
Mhm.
because the sound vibration affect your energy field, that helps your energy field meet that vibration and find a little bit of softness and a little bit of calm. And that's where the work is done. We can't do any of this healing work or go back into trauma if we're in fight or flight mode.
Mhm.
We're not in a place to process that. We're in a survival mode. We're not in a place to really look at our stuff. So getting people to that calm space is
Mhm.
where it's at.
And also, when you're in that calm space, you're not fighting or flighting. You're just able to observe or
No.
like have a nice conversation with yourself. or
Yeah.
have us have a nice conversation with ourselves.
And be in your body. That's
Mhm.
another thing. A lot of people don't feel safe being in their bodies because of trauma.
Mhm.
So providing a safe container for people to relax in their bodies is huge.
And I can tell you, just anyone who watches this video, I feel like they'll be able to feel it. I really do, because I feel it. I feel great in my body right now. I do.
Great. I love that.
Like,
Yeah. One other thing, if you are in the New Orleans area and looking for community, we at my studio, Nola Yoga Loft. I love community,
yes.
and so we do lunar ceremonies that are free or by donation for anybody to come join in. It's all genders are welcome. We do it every new moon and every full moon. We gather together as a community and we grow together.
Mhm.
So I just invite anybody who's in New Orleans to come sit with us.
And she does it really good. She allows everyone to be themselves. Like when you say community, yes, we join as a community, but you really understand the individual as well. So it is a really beautiful space to be in. And like there's always something going on over there. Someone's
Yeah.
just not besides like yoga, but just other healing modalities and stuff too. So it is a really great space. And then can they find that like more about the Nola Yoga Loft? Is it nolayogaloft.com, or how would they find that?
Yeah, nolayogaloft.com. That's the website. Yeah. So
And
we
I'll
have
put
our
that.
schedule, our events. I also lead yoga retreats, which are great. I do yoga and mindful living. In a couple of weeks, we're going up for a yoga and hiking retreat in coastal Maine, connecting with nature, connecting to the changing seasons, and really feeling how the change in seasons can take place in our own beings and our ability to let go, just like the trees change and let go of leaves, so we can let go of the past and process what's coming up for us. And then next year, I'm leading yoga and mindful living in Sicily, which, yeah,
Okay.
it's a whole week where we're in the mountains in Sicily at this 17th century cheese
I'm there.
farm place that's still a working farm.
Okay.
And they provide all the meals, it's farm to table dining. And I'll be leading talks about mindfulness, be leading mindful meditations, be leading mindful yoga activities, as well as excursions to Palermo, to the beach. There's one that's going an excursion to a vineyard for a little wine tasting.
A little wine.
Yeah. So yeah, that, and then next fall, so fall of 2024, I'm leading a group to Northern Iceland for yoga and hiking and to view the Northern Lights.
Did you do Iceland before?
I personally went,
Okay,
but
that's
I
what.
haven't. It's my first time meeting a group there, so I went, and it changed my life. And I'm one of those people. Anytime I do something that I love, I immediately need everybody else to do it too.
Yeah. I'm okay with
It's
that.
amazing, and like especially if you're into more spiritually oriented retreats,
Mhm.
it's they have these major energy vortexes up there. It's where the fairies live. It's where
Right,
the
right.
elves live. It's got volcanoes. It has glaciers. It's got the northern lights.
The Northern Lights.
It's
Yeah.
like that deep journey inward we can see outward. And it's really beautiful. So we'll be doing that too.
I love that. And they can find all of that under the Nola Yoga Loft.
NolaYogaLoft.com.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
and I'll
then,
also be putting the retreats on my personal website, which
okay.
is wanderwithinllc.com. Yeah.
And then
So it's all about wandering within, having
yeah,
that inner journey. Yeah.
that's so beautiful. And then I'm going to have all her information listed below. And then let me ask you this, when they go to your website to schedule, it will bring up the schedule, or will they have to shoot you an email, or can they schedule right from the website to do the
They
past
can
life?
schedule right from my website. Yeah. So on my website, you'll see that I have how to schedule the virtual sessions with me right there from the website. And then I'll have two different little sections at the bottom where it's like, if you're in the New Orleans area, this is where you can find me for in person. And if you're on the North Shore, this is where you can find me for in person. And it has links to book with those two places.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for making it easy. And
Thank you.
thank you for making this healing easy. It can be. I know sometimes it's a little scary, or we think it's going to be
Mhm.
scary or hard, and you're really ushering in this new movement that it can be easy, and I say that with like an asterisk, right? Because
Yeah.
we do have to show up, and we do have to agree to show up.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's easy in the sense of creating a space that all that you're ready for shows up, you know? Yeah, it's not like taking in and pulling up things that you're not ready to look at. You're
Yeah.
only going to experience that which you're ready and are safe enough to experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so really, I love creating a safe space for people. And it's also with that, instead of using words like the idea of easy, it's a comforted space because I'm just naturally a really nurturing person. And so I like providing a safe space where you feel held and loved so you can have that deep exhale and be exactly where you need to be.
Perfect. Okay, friends, I'm going to leave it there. Britt, thank you for taking the time and
Thank you,
telling us
Jamie.
all about this. I love it. I know people that spend time with you will really come out differently and appreciate this. And I know when they listen to this, when they hear the sound of your voice, they're gonna know, like, oh God, this feels good already. I
Thank
better
you.
book
And I love listening to you. You just like, I could just listen to you talk all day.
it. That's what we'll do. We'll just read stuff all day. That's that when we retire. That's what, because I hope you retire somewhere cool, and then I can come visit you, like where the Northern Lights are. Just think about it. Okay, guys,
Well,
we're
thanks
gonna
for
end
having
it.
me.
Okay, we're gonna end it here. Thank you so much. And then till next time, I'll have all her information listed for her and for the Nola Yoga Loft. Right. Thanks, Britt.
Thanks, Amy.
Bye.